Welcome back to the channel. My name's Joe and I specialize in analyzing, reviewing, and consulting on small business technology and software. Over the course of that experience, the biggest gap I've seen in many home and field service businesses that has a simple solution, an amazing impact on business growth, and yet is overlooked by many business owners is your website. So in this video, I'm going to cover 2 common misconceptions business owners have about websites and 5 things, a checklist if you will, of things that you need to make sure you have on your website, why they're important, and how to get it solved quickly. Excited? Well, let's dive right in. To start, there are 2 misconceptions that home and field service business owners have about websites. The first is how much it actually costs to develop. Web developers and marketers usually quote thousands of dollars to make a WordPress website, as they have for years. But for the majority of small businesses, this is absolutely overkill. There are a lot of alternatives that exist today, like semi-custom drag-and-drop websites on Wix or Squarespace, or even an AI website platform that can make a website in less than 10 minutes. I'll link some options in the description below. Which one you actually need is going to depend on your understanding on exactly what you need your website to do for your business. Otherwise, you're going to spend a ton of money trying to build features and edits that provide very little value. For the most part, if you're just starting out, the amount a developer would charge you to develop a single website is the same budget or more that you would spend in a whole year if you choose the right solutions, including the website, a professional email address, and even your business software system and your accounting platform. The second misconception is what you think the purpose of your website actually is. Many business owners make the mistake of thinking about it like a business card, and this severely limits how useful or valuable your website will be to your business. Successful businesses think about websites more like a storefront or even a resume. The goal isn't just leaving your contact information there for clients. It's about attracting and selling yourself to those potential clients so that you can increase the likelihood they'll actually want to engage with you or convert into an appointment or a lead. Ultimately, your website is going to act as your personal 24/7 salesperson. If you want some extra support in starting or redeveloping your website or technology strategy, I do provide free 15-minute website and social media analysis that you can apply for on my website, and we can cover some of the biggest impacts you can have both on the website and in your business. Now, once you're past these misconceptions, then you need to actually make sure you implement these 5 key components. The first, and most obviously, is your business and contact information. This might seem basic, but there's some specific nuance here. First of all, make sure you have a high-quality logo on your website. Nothing turns people off more from doing business with you than a really grainy or poor quality photos. If you're not married to your logo and willing to redevelop it, it's actually fairly cheap. You can easily make a new one with a solution like Looka, where you can auto-design a new high-quality logo for free and only pay for it when you're happy with it. Of course, having a way to contact you is table stakes, but also make sure that you have your social media available. One common way potential clients validate if a business is legitimate is whether or not they have social media that has at least a few posts with pictures of real people, not just ads. If you don't have this already, this is something you absolutely need, otherwise you're turning away some potential clients that you won't even ever hear from. The second criteria is your phone number. If you target a local service area, have a local phone number. This helps with your SEO. If you target an expanded area, then it might make sense to have a toll-free number potentially, but still provide and list your local lines on the website. The big caveat here is that you shouldn't have a single line that rings to a single phone. This becomes your single point of failure. This may make sense if you're just starting out and you're by yourself, but if you get a decent amount of calls per day, invest in a call center solution like AirCall. I made a deep dive about it over here. But in short, it allows you to connect individual and personal lines so you don't have to physically buy your staff and crew cell phones or invest in crazy amounts for a traditional VoIP system, while making it easy to manage. It also has other features that almost acts like a virtual assistant, like call recording, transcription, and more. Lastly, have a domain name email. For goodness sakes, the amount of active businesses I see that are still using Gmails or even Hotmail addresses, even though they have a website and a domain name already, is staggering. You are losing business if you do this. Some owners don't realize that when surveyed, 65% of people will only choose a service provider who has a business email address. And guess what? These are also the same people that are willing to typically pay more for services. Not only is it cheap, it's roughly $15 a month for a single inbox through Google or Microsoft, it's incredibly easy to maintain, and it's probably easier to manage than the personal Gmail account, and it comes with a bunch of other Office tools like Microsoft Office or Google Docs through Google. So personally, I think it's a no-brainer. Next up, make sure you have a portfolio and testimonials. This is part of a category called social proof. More so than the services you offer, the key to marketing services is that you're selling the end result, not the service itself. Theodore Levitt, an economist and professor at Harvard Business School, probably says it best. People don't want quarter-inch drill bits. They want quarter-inch holes. I'm making a video on this next week, so like and subscribe to the video if you like the content so far, and stay tuned for that. The most prominent things on your website should be things like 5-star reviews from Google, testimonials about what differentiates your service from other providers, a slideshow of pictures of the work you've done. Again, it has to be high quality. Also make sure that the website is what's called responsive, since the majority of people nowadays will be looking at your website on their phone, so it needs to look just as good on both a desktop and a smartphone. If you're just starting out, you may not have a ton of testimonials, or can you claim that you have 200 plus 5-star reviews. That said, you do need to be proactive when it comes to reviews. Businesses that have a lot of reviews do a process called reputation management, which is usually done through automation. One example is a platform called Nice Job, which directly links with Google reviews that you send all of your customers at the end of a job and ask them for feedback, and only prompts for a review if they're willing to give you 5 stars. It also has a free plugin that allows you to easily and nicely showcase those reviews on your website. I'll link this and any other tech recommendations I have in the description below, or they're always updated on my website along with any other useful tech specifically for home and field service businesses. Now that said, this feature also exists in a lot of software tailored to your industry like HOUSECALL PRO, Jobber, and Thrive, all having this capability to varying degrees of effectiveness and ease of use. You can check out my video comparing those 3 platforms over here. Now, tip number 3 is on a similar vein, but still on the same topic, another form of social proof, which are your differentiators. Having accolades, certifications, awards, and accreditations will help nudge a customer to click that book an appointment button or give you a call. If you have something that looks like a certificate or award, put it on your website. The goal is to put your potential customer's mind at ease. Now, customers generally don't know or even research what these awards are, so you have a lot of leeway on what you can put on here, but at least make sure they're legitimate. Putting fake awards or accreditations has a much smaller upside compared to the risk of getting sued, so just do the right thing here. The 4th tip is that when it comes to a website, you need to be very specific on what terms and words you use. Your website is only as good as the amount of people that can find it, who can actually use your services. It doesn't help you much if you're an electrician in New York and your website is shown to someone in California. When it comes to services, you need to focus on what's called local organic SEO, or search engine optimization, which is a different strategy than just basic SEO. First of all, the sooner you have a website, the better chance you'll have that the almighty Google gods will start ranking your website higher, and for free. This is called organic search ranking. That being said, when Google does start crawling your website, it uses the content to figure out what kind of search terms and who it will actually show your website to, especially location-centric words. This is why you need to be hyper-specific and generous about putting not just the locations you service, but even variations talking about the county, your neighborhoods, and local landmarks and more. You also need to be specific about the services that you offer. So, good tip here is that you should think about what kind of searches your clients might try to put into Google and find a service provider in your area. An extra tip is that it even helps if you put blog posts or articles related to community events in your neighborhood, since Google loves what's called natural content. This will help Google serve you up to the right people that can actually use your services. This is another reason to participate or even sponsor community events and take lots of pictures for social media. Last but not least, all of these tips are almost useless if you don't make it absolutely simple for your customers to get in touch with you, in marketing jargon called a frictionless experience. When I go through these for field service businesses, I use what I call the 3 golden CTAs, or calls to action. If you're missing one of these, you're missing out on 30% of your conversions. First is a contact us form or an email address. These exist in almost any basic website package or builder and simply sends you a form to an email. This is usually targeted towards potential clients who have less urgent requests and need some questions answered before booking anything. Now, just because these are less urgent, it doesn't mean that they're less important. Oftentimes, this is the starting point of someone looking at bigger projects. So at the very least, make sure you have these available and a way to prevent spam, like a CAPTCHA filter. Second is a phone number. I already talked about this in the first point, but make sure that you have a phone number people can actually call and that people will answer. While the world is going digital, people do still want a service provider that they can actually reach and talk to a human being and verify that you're a real business. This is tailored to customers who have questions about your services, but still probably willing to book time for a quote or a service appointment right after they've had those questions answered. While it's definitely important to have a voicemail, make sure you're managing it. It's surprising how many businesses I've called only to hear voicemail inbox that's full. If a potential client gets this, you're never going to hear from them again. Lastly is automated appointment booking. If you have services that have a set cost or at the very least has set baseline costs like a quote or an estimate to get somebody out into the field, and it's a reasonable market rate, then having an automated appointment booking solution is now typically a standard. Not only is this a huge time saver for you, but it actually increases your rate of booking more appointments because you're locking in a client in their moment of need. You're letting your website do the entire sale for you. This kind of capability is built into the major platforms I spoke of before, but if you don't have this yet, it's as simple as putting a link or a button on your website to book a service. Some platforms even go as far as to have plugins where the services you offer in your business management software automatically update into your website so you don't have to constantly edit it as your business changes and grows. Even if you're running the business solo or have under 5 crew members, the amount of time this kind of tech saves you is enormous. Another feature this enables is taking deposits and payments automatically so that clients put skin in the game into the process. Just use your discretion on what kind of services you actually implement this capability on. And there you have it, a pretty comprehensive deep dive on everything you need to know about websites for your home and service business. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them in the comments below, or if it's specific to your business, again, feel free to hop onto our website, rehash.tech, for a free 15-minute consultation. If you enjoyed this content, there's a lot more to come, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.